Welcome to Life Sourced Education and Encouragement, Series 1, First Phoenix, Discovering My Purpose at the 1995 Million Man March on Washington, D.C. This is the Epilogue. Welcome to the Epilogue for Series 1, First Phoenix. It's my hope that you watch the introduction and the prologue as well as all 3 episodes. I want to take a moment to thank you for taking these first few steps with me on this journey of sharing. It is my hope that this epilogue will give you a deeper understanding of what I went through and who I am now on this side of the experience. So I hope you find it both interesting and informative. Going from inspiration to action. Imagine what it would be like to be pregnant for 5 straight years, experiencing the increasing pressure and discomfort from being in that state, but also knowing that something important needs to happen and should happen, but just hasn't quite happened yet. The struggle itself. In hindsight, I recognize that the 5-year pregnancy experience was pretty much the direct result of certain choices that I made, certain enslavements that I struggled to get free of. I chose to exist in a state of busyness in life so I could avoid doing the mission by like having no time available to do it. I chose to exist in an environment that wasn't necessarily supportive of my efforts. In short, I made decisions because I was afraid to try and to fail because I felt it was so important. Stumbling into safety. Finding a safe space took time and significant change. I had to be freed from some things before there would be room in my life to put forth the effort on creating this series and the series to come. First, I had to escape former roles that I'd taken on, ways of identifying myself that tied me to schedules and activities that really had nothing to do with the big mission I was supposed to be on. I had to release people and things, and maybe it's better to say have those things taken away from me. So again, I'd have time and energy to focus on the main mission at hand. Ultimately, while it felt like I was choosing, pretty sure God was leading me along the path that didn't look right to me. It just looked like struggle and loss, lack of control. But in truth, God was pruning me so that my energies could be focused and I could bear fruit in the way that God really wanted me to. The labor pains. So, the beginning of deciding and being willing to work on the project, the equivalent of labor, was a real struggle. I mean, the preparing, trying to get materials, the learning of new skills, wrestling with fear and doubt, that's like huge. In resisting distraction, I mean, there's a lot of ways tried and resisted and tried and failed to distract myself from the mission. Uh, Even after I managed to get the introduction and prologue put up, you'll notice there was a period of time until episode 1 came out. Because despite how much I liked those things, I wasn't really doing this right here, face to face, very much. And I was really struggling with the idea of it. So really had a hard time getting to episode 1 being released. And finally, the birth itself. The act of giving birth, if you will, to episode 1 was tough. I was able to do it because I ultimately decided to embrace the fear that I had about. I chose to sacrifice my ego, to let go of worrying about what people would think, whether it would be good or not. I let that go because I understood it's something I needed to do no matter how it ultimately turned out and no matter what responses ultimately came to it. I mostly killed the demon of perfectionism in order to get episode one out, though that's a hard beast to slay. So it still tries to rear its ugly head from time to time, but I think I've mostly got a handle on it, but I have to keep an eye so as not to backslide with it. Hosting episode one was an amazing experience. I mean, when I clicked post, I felt weak, felt clammy, like, I don't know, like I got punched in the gut or like something fearful happened, had adrenaline in my body. It was a moment. I knew I'd crossed the threshold that I couldn't uncross. And I was happy to be on that side of it. And now, the four questions as answered after completing series one. Who are you? What do you want? Why are you here? And where are you going? So, who am I now on this side of having given birth to the first real episode of Life Source Education and Encouragement? I'm a man who feels relieved and unburdened. I am a grateful man, grateful to God for not giving up on me and for inspiring me in the first place. I am a more humble person. I can feel that I've been pruned and I feel that I'm more grounded to do the work ahead. I definitely feel more confident from the doing and the learning and the falling and the getting back up. And lastly, I feel much more optimistic than I used to. And I'm really excited about the next steps to come. What do I want now? Really, just three things. I want to see my stories being viewed and hopefully reshared. I want to get feedback from those of you who see it, and hopefully feedback that you're being helped or your interest has been sparked to have you look into some things. And lastly, I want to take the next action steps and I want to equal or exceed what I've done so far in terms of story quality and content, and even technical expertise. And it's my hope that I will receive help along the way with that. My ego is not involved. So, why am I here now? And I'll speak to that in the context of being in post production. I'm here because I said the final yes to getting started on series one and kicking out episode. I'm here because I kept on saying yes throughout the production process, despite the challenges I experienced. And I'm here because I resisted the urge to quit, which came up over and over again. And the final question, where am I going? I think to answer that, I have to first mention my perspective on where have I been. I consider that I've been through four major life phases. From childhood to adulthood, 0 to 20, 20 years of just learning the basics, right, of life. From 20 to 30, I was 10 years of hospitality training, where I learned to get along with people, to provide service, to seek out quality, to try and be, a good at something professionally. And from 30 to 54, 24 years of experience in the affordable housing industry for nonprofits. It would take a long time to discuss what I learned there, but trust me when I tell you, a great deal of my development as a human being happened during that time. And last but not least, from 54 years old to 60 years old, that was my most recent period and it was a humbling, deconstructive period. I experienced a lot of loss. I think I mentioned being pruned earlier. And while difficult and painful, I'm in a much better place than I used to be as a result. I'm very happy that God took me through that. And finally, where am I going now? I like to think that I'm going further into self exploration, more deconstruction and reconstruction. I like to think that I'm branching out and broadening to experience the wider edges of the path that I'm on. And ultimately, I feel that I'm going further into the vision led future that God laid out for me 5 long years ago. I want to believe that the next 5 years are going to pass much more quickly, that I'll feel much more accomplished, and that I will have a much better impact on the world around me during that time. And lastly, my encouragement for you in this epilogue. I consider this process of publishing my library as the fifth age of my life, and hopefully not the last. If you think and feel in the deepest parts of who you are that you're not being and doing who you're supposed to be and what you're really supposed to be doing, I encourage you to seek it out, to go through struggles, to sacrifice as needed, to become that person and do that thing. Trust me when I say that if I can do it, anyone can do it. So I encourage you to do it. Let me thank you once again for being on this journey with me. And my prayer is that we continue together. There is much more to come. A reminder on building together. If you'd like to support my labor of love, scan my master QR code with your smartphone to access all platforms and accounts. If you prefer, you can copy and paste this link into your web browser. You may also see my equipment donation registry on Amazon. You can search for my name, or you can find Support Life Source Education and Encouragement on the registry listings. Coming soon, Series 2, Walking the Path, Part 1, My First Place, Living My Values. Episode 1 is titled Learning. Thanks again so much for being here.